In this video, I'm going to teach you how to add an assignment in a class. So for example, as you can see in my class homepage, I have here two classes that I have created previously. Now if I'm going to open one class, for example, this English for Apple, if I'm going to click that one, I will be directed to the home page of my class. So as you can see, there are no assignments yet. And to add an assignment, I can simply click the green button here, which has the plus sign and then the add assignments and then the add assignment. So just simply click that one to add an assignment and you will be directed to a page where you're going to create your assignment to your students. Okay, so so as you can see, I don't have here any assignment yet. Okay, it will take a while. During our orientation with Turnitin, it would take a while to load the page if you create an assignment. So as you can see, you have here instruction about the page. So to create an assignment, you need to create an assignment title, of course. Usually, the assignment title that we would put is the quiz name or the quiz assignment or the name of the lesson. And then you can also put here the point value or the score, the maximum score that you can give to your students. And then, so let me just put it there. Let's say assignment title, my favorite fruit, something like that. Fruit. And then point value, this is purely optional if you want to give points to your students, let's say 10 points. But for example, if it's for formative assessment, you can choose not to put any point there. And then another option here is to check the file types that you would accept in the assignment. So would you allow file types that Turnitin can check for similarity, or would you allow any file type? So I would really suggest that you allow only file types that Turnitin can check for similarity. That is a document, a Word document, a Google Docs, or a PDF file, so that it can easily be run by Turnitin later when you're going to run a similarity report or a plagiarism test. And then you can put here the start date of your assignment. Usually it's the date when you created the assignment. So that's today, for example. And then you can also put here the time. And then you can also identify here the due date. So that means the due date is the date and time the students' papers are due for the assignment. And you also have here post date. The post date is the date and time students can begin viewing instructor feedback. So you can usually the post date here, the default post date here is a day after the due date. Okay, so that's why it's September 22 here and then it's September 23 here. And then there are also optional settings here. If you click that one, you can actually add some special instructions. Yes, you can provide additional instructions here. And then there is an option whether you would allow submissions after the due date. Usually the default is no, because you don't want your students to submit their assignment after the due date, right? And then would you generate similarity reports for submission? Of course, if the assignment would ask for an essay or a book report or a research paper, it is best to generate similarity reports for submission to check on whether students plagiarized their work or not. And then there is also an option here whether the similarity report will be generated after the first submission or immediately. This overwrites reports until the due date. That means you're allowing your students to edit or resubmit their reports or their document or their assignment, and then the last uh, assignment that they have submitted on the due date will be the one that will be generated with similarity report or on due date. So let's just say I'll just put here immediately first report is final because I just want my students to submit only one work, one final work. And then would you exclude bibliographic materials from similarity index? Would you like to exclude quoted materials? Would you exclude small sources? Would you allow students to see similarity reports? I'd like to check that one so that students can see on which part of their documents have similarities with other sources. Would you enable translated matching? This is still on beta. Would you enable anonymous marking? So if I'm the teacher, I would click that no because I would want my students to know that I'm the one checking their paper. And then would you submit papers to repository? Whether standards paper repository or no repository. I will be explaining this on another video, but I would really suggest, and Turnitin suggests that you submit papers on standard paper repository so that it will be added to their database and would help other teachers and students with their similarity reports. And then we have search options here. Would you like to match the students' submissions or assignments in the student paper repository, current and archived internet, and periodicals, journals, and publications? So it is best to check all of these. And then there is also an online grading in Turnitin, which I will be discussing in another video. So I will just put here no rubric and then no. And then after you're done with the settings of your assignment, you can now click submit. There you go. So as you can see, I now have my assignment, my favorite fruit, and it requires a paper. There's the start date, and then the due date, and then the post date. The post date is when the students would be able to see the result of their um, submission. And then you can also hear status. So for example, if you have 40 students, you would expect like 40 students would be able to submit. And if you want to view the submissions of your students, you can just simply click view here. And then there are also more actions here, like if you want to edit the settings of the assignment, if you want to submit, or if you want to delete the assignment, then you can choose to do that in the more actions button. Okay, that's it. That's how you add assignments in Turnitin.